We are back with another episode of Nikki's Handbag Encyclopedia. This is a series I started so I can give you a quick review of a handbag in under 10 minutes as an avid handbag lover with over 15 years of experience. That sounds so crazy, but yes, I've been doing this for a minute or two. Sometimes we just need to get to the meat and potatoes of a handbag without the long-winded stories. You know, I love to talk about how I got the bag, why I bought the bag, and what kind of deal I got on the bag. On the other spectrum, there's a lot of TikToks and Reels and shorts that you are looking to compile together, and that takes a long time. This is my way of saving you all of that combing through of it. And honestly, 2 minutes, 30-second reviews of a bag is just not enough information for you to make a final decision. Spending your hard-earned money on things that are pretty but kind of unnecessary in your life. So you want to make sure you are spending your money in a very smart way. We will be covering the following: a quick brand overview, me picking out the bits and pieces of information that I think is important or you might find interesting. Then we'll do a bag rundown and a do show and tell, kind of give you all angles of the bag, talking a little bit about the pros, cons, and functionality, and the price to value ratio. Again, prices nowadays are just skyrocketing left and right. So we want to make sure the value that you are getting for the price that you are paying is somewhat reasonable, and there's no mathematical equation to this. This is just more subjective in my opinion. Lastly, we'll wrap it up, kind of just blending all into one big conversation, is the je ne sais quoi of this bag. Is it special enough for you to want to purchase this bag? Is there that extra pizzazz or oomph to the bag for you to have this bag in your collection? The bag we are highlighting today is the mini Song bag in the sky blue color, and it's just a beautiful color. I love this bag. And if you are new and happen to stumble across my headless video, make sure you are subscribed if you do enjoy this kind of content. I've got a whole entire encyclopedia. I said encyclopedia of other mid-range independent brands that you may not have heard of, all started for you. So go check that out after this, but do support my channel if you do like this kind of content creation. So that way I can continue to make more for you. So I know you enjoy this. For those of you who are returning, glad you're back. Glad you are on this journey with me. And maybe you are working on your own journey with curating and picking out handbags and exploring a lot of the indie brands. As they have said, 2026 is the year of mid-range, mid-luxury, whatever you want to call it, handbags. Songmont was started back in 2013 by a lady named Fu Song, who struggled to find a laptop bag that was practical and stylish enough for her as a working mother. She, of course, like a lot of these stories, I feel like I can't find what I want, so I'm gonna create it. So anyways, she decided to design her own bag and enlist her own mother and I think grandmother, who were skilled artisans out of the Shengsho area, to help create her new leather goods brand. She propelled her entire brand Songmont forward when Wang Ji joined as a designer and co-founder. The most heartwarming part of Songmont's story is the granny team, in my opinion. Fu Song's mother assembled a whole entire team of retired grannies from her hometown to practice their craft again, and there's a whole entire article about it. I hope they are still handcrafting these bags today and still be able to showcase their expertise, but at the same time, I hope they aren't as well and not working as much, maybe just a 1 or 2 a day or whatever. I don't know how long it takes them to craft these bags, but grannies should take it easy. So I hope they're not, because Songmont has literally exploded or have built up a lot of momentum over the years, and the demand obviously is not the 5 or 6 grannies that are working, they can't keep up with the demand, which is a good problem, right? Songmont has really taken the whole made in China stigma and turned it around. They have really leaned into the sustainability factors with not just their bags, but their packaging, but also their 11 physical locations throughout China. Their store exhibits are made of like straw mud, clay bricks, and wheat husks instead of just plastic everything. So I thought that was an extra special touch. And if you look at the decor of the stores and the packaging, it's very Palen-esque, right? Like you feel like, oh, am I looking at the Chinese version of Palen? Again, I'm not trying to say, hey, Songmont is trying to copy Pollen, because I feel like they were working around the same timeline, but that's just the store and the packaging aesthetics. But when it comes to the handbags, it's a completely different story. They definitely have their own very distinctive identity. Each line of the handbags have their own story. So like the Shang line, the Song line, the Your, the Drippy, it is completely different from Pollen, and I love that. And then within each of the lines, like the Song line, the Your line, they have various different models in that particular line. I will say Songmont's bags are designed to be much more functional than Pollen bags. What I have here today is the Mini Song, and the Song line launched in spring of 2019. And what they said here is the design inspiration for the silhouette of the Song bag comes from the framework of a traditional paper kite, ones that the kids would fly, and I actually did when I was little a couple times. They tore pretty easily. Just as soft paper is supported by bamboo frames to fly in the air, it uses this O-shaped frames on both sides to create a structure that supports the bag. Not this particular one, but their regular size is what they're referring to. This one came out after the original size came out. The frames serve a dual purpose. They act as a stabilizer and a handle, resulting in a bag that is soft, but yet upright, practical, and aesthetically pleasing. All right, just to show you a quick spin and show and tell of the bag itself. Again, this is in the sky color, the mini size. You'll see that the strap here kind of hangs out. And then on the bottom, you'll see 4 little feet that are super adorable. So this is what you can call a very functional, high capacity mini bag. The handles itself is very, like, you can wear it as a top handle like this or on the crook of your arm. The strap itself is adjustable, so it's a very comfortable crossbody. You'll also find the gold foil at the bottom of the bag, very inconspicuous, and I do love that quite a bit. The feet is also proprietary. It's not like a special design or anything. However, you will see the brand name imprinted on the bottom of the feet. And you can see on the handles that they are stitched very well. It's not a seamless look, but that doesn't really bother me at all. And when you're doing the top handle, you think that because there is a ridge of the stitching, you would feel like maybe sharpness or anything. Not the case whatsoever. It feels incredibly comfortable. Even though the handles are really structured, you won't feel the edging or the stitching popping out whatsoever. It feels like there's nothing there at all. You wouldn't even notice. Now, when you open the bag, these are built-in interior magnets on the inside and on the outside. I guess both flaps right here. Done extremely well, very seamless. And the magnets are incredibly strong. So if you aren't really keeping the bag open with your hands and you're kind of just moving around, you can see it kind of just suctions closed by itself, because the flap, even though there is no crease right here, it does have the tendency, or I guess the form, where it wants to kind of close the bag for you. Now, the interior is just one big open compartment, and obviously it is very spacious. You will not find any slip pockets for you to put little things or anything. So you will need to have little pouches, little catch-alls if you want a little bit of organization. Most people are okay with that, but you would think that they would include at least one slip pocket. However, to me, that's not a big deal, just because I don't really use little slip pockets anyways. Now, this adjustable crossbody strap is attached not by D-rings. You'll see that these are little leather tabs right here where you kind of just feed the leather straps through. So I find that to be really interesting. And it does make the bag a little bit more lightweight perhaps, so that there's not as much metal kind of rubbing against everything. So I think that is a very smart and unique design. And for reference sake, I'm not doing a whole entire what fits in my bag, but again, this soda can right here, my liquid death, you can see it fits incredibly nicely in here, right? With a lot of room. And then you've got my phone right here. Let's see, a portable charger. This is a pretty big one. And you can see it fits all nicely in here. So we're gonna do a little experiment. This might end bad. Maybe I should put a little padding down. Okay, I got a little placemat here so I don't create chaos. So I've got 3 very heavy items in here. I'm just gonna turn it upside down to show you. Isn't that crazy? Look at how strong the magnets are. I'm actually, oh my God, I'm truly impressed. And you can see, okay, all right, so let's open this up. The battery, my phone, and an entire soda can that's unopened. Talking about the pros and cons, obviously you saw the pro where the magnets are stupid strong. That was ridiculous. I don't think I've ever encountered a bag that has that strong of magnets where they can hold up upside down with all of these heavy items. Another pro I would say is that the bag is incredibly lightweight. You can fit a lot of stuff for a tiny bag. Capacity wise, got feet at the bottom, so that's always a pro. The top handle is incredibly easy to wear. The interior, it's a very high capacity bag for a tiny little bag or a mini bag, so to speak. This bag is also incredibly durable. The leather is very powdery, I want to say, kind of like just really, yeah, I would say is it the best leather? No, obviously not. You do smell the leather. It does not smell extremely processed, and the color itself is beautiful. I want to say there's like 10 or 11 colors that you can choose from. The sky color is phenomenal. You do not have to worry about the elements, the rain. If it's raining outside, this is definitely a great go-to bag. I did not have to spray this bag down with kiwi protector or spray of some sort, and it's still very durable. You would think about like color transfer, and that has not happened whatsoever. And I wear a lot of dark clothing. When it comes to the cons, I will say the biggest con, in my opinion, is the strap. You can see the strap is quite stiff. It's not uncomfortable to wear. However, it does bug me that it kind of looks like crinkled. So when I first received this bag, the leather straps were folded instead of rolled into a little circle. It was kind of folded this way, right? Like this. In the box, which is normally fine, but because these leather straps are so stiff, it came out, this is the best it will show up as, right? So I had to hang it with heavy stuff to straighten out the strap a little bit, and it's still kind of wonky looking. So I would say that is probably, I don't like the strap whatsoever. So I probably would use this more top handle, even though a mini bag is just so easy to wear as a crossbody. In my opinion, they need to figure out the strap to use a different material because again, this is a very structured bag. I do like the design of this. Again, this could be because of the structure or how firm the strap is. It just doesn't look right. It flops out a little bit too much. As you can see, the little ends right here is sticking out. It's not a seamless look. And when you put it down, it just kind of looks like a hot mess. Let me move my stuff here. The straps just does whatever it wants. So that's probably my biggest pet peeve when it comes to this. Other than that, this bag itself is fantastic. I don't have any other cons. This strap is just what annoys me the most. Moving on to price to value ratio, 100%. It gets like a 10 out of, okay, let me just tone that back. Let's just say 8.5 out of 10 because the straps do annoy me. But the value nowadays, especially when it comes to mid-range, under $300 retail is phenomenal. Like you cannot beat that. Most bags nowadays are $500, $600, $700, $800, $900, and they still call themselves mid-range. For such a unique design and how strong the magnets are, how durable it is, such a carefree bag, and just the fun color in general, I think the price to value ratio is definitely up there. And this is not something you're going to see down the road. So again, which leads me to the je ne sais quoi. I 100% think this is a bag worth purchasing. Just be careful. A lot of you have reached out to me because I have bought Songmont bags from various sources. Like the first one I ever bought was through eBay. That was a complete fake and replica. Pollen bags and Songmont bags are highly duped, or I guess not duped, replicated out there. Another lady did reach out to me and said that she bought one from TikTok Shop. I've never purchased anything from TikTok Shop, so I don't know. But I am pretty sure that Songmont only sells from their website. They're direct to consumer. They're not going to sell through TikTok. So the chances are that lady did purchase a fake one, which is why she mentioned how bad it smelled. This one does smell like leather. So the je ne sais quoi, going back to it in a roundabout way, is that yes, I think this is incredibly special. It is very unique. This is not something you'll see on the street. So if you want to have something a little bit more unique with a very stylish, again, true to the founder's, kind of philosophy, something stylish, something very cute, something practical and very durable, functional bag, I think they hit the nail on the head here. So I hope that really helped you in terms of making a decision on purchasing this bag or not. I'll make sure to link everything down below for you. And I do have a couple sources that I do trust. Usually it's Real, where you can buy these pre-loved. Sometimes the prices are okay. Sometimes they are terrible. Sometimes they are fantastic. So it's kind of a crapshoot, but at $269 retail, and they do sales from time to time, I think it's probably best you just buy from their website directly. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, because anytime they have some sort of holiday or seasonal sale, I do post them and make you guys aware. So definitely pay attention to that. And if you don't want to buy this retail, I think they've gone as low as 15, maybe 20% off during one of their sales. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully this was helpful for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. If you own one of these, tell me what you think. Are my assessments correct? Life is hard. I want to help you save time and money so that you can somehow adult easier and hopefully less than retail. I'll see you all next time.